Hi, thanks everybody for coming back to Mindful Movement on Tuesdays. We're going to be working in a chair today. So if you're not already in a chair and you have a chair without arms, that would be ideal. You can grab a chair. If you don't have a chair, I would suggest that you start maybe sitting on the floor, and some of these exercises you can probably figure out and do them standing. Okay, so but if you have a chair, no arms would be great. And then also making sure that your chair is on a strong surface, meaning like I'm on a yoga mat. You don't want your chair to slide, because we will be like putting our feet out, kind of pushing and pulling our legs and stuff. So you want to make sure you feel really steady on your chair. And then I know it's kind of silly, but my biggest fear is always falling back out of the chair. So make sure, that you have a really strong back on your chair, okay? Because I have done this class before and I have pushed back like this and lost the back of the chair. So just test your chair, make sure it's strong and safe, okay? So you can start, of course, sitting a little more forward in your chair. In the middle, or if you want a little more just relaxed, restorative, you can start way back and let your back just come back to the back of the chair and relax. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of time here just to figure out where you want to be on your chair, front, middle, back. Wherever we are, we want to make sure our feet are nice and grounded. So the balls of your feet and your toes can be nice and solid, and same with your heels, okay? So there's not a lot of stress through the shins or the ankles to get your feet to the floor, okay? And then arms can just hang down by your side, and just like we would in any other class, pausing, coming inward, taking some time to center, taking some time to ground. Each one of us has our own unique way of finding our own center, of feeling connected inward, connected downward. So as we each take some time to feel and create that place of centeredness, of groundedness. Bringing your awareness inward to your physical body. What does it feel like here? With a little more grounding, a little more centeredness. What does it feel like here to be in your body with kindness, with curiosity, noting what you feel in your body? We'll take about 3 breaths. And our bodies are a really wonderful gateway to our breathing. And so noting what you feel with your breathing. When you take an inhale, what does that feel like? When you take an exhale, what does that feel like? Noting your own unique personal experience. And so the body receiving your breath. Do you still feel grounded and centered? Maybe you come back to grounding and centering. Perhaps using your body as an anchor or your breath as an anchor. And threading kindness and compassion through our practice. So noting what's arriving or what's arising, what are you noticing? Just being honest with ourselves, and also that continual practice of kindness and compassion. Let's take about 5 breaths. And maybe your mind has wandered off. You might start to notice your mental landscape. If you've drifted off, that's okay. Drifting off is practice. We just pay attention to where we've drifted off. No worries. We just can come back over and over again. Back to that place of centeredness, of grounding, of breath, of body. I'm just going to start some easier movements, okay? So we'll probably scoot right towards the front of your chair. It's going to be a little bit easier here to move in your legs and your arms if you're more towards the front of your chair, right? So a lot like if we were on our backs. So if you don't have a chair, you can come on your back and do your dead bug, if you remember this one. We're going to just start by lifting up your right knee and lowering it down, and lifting up your left knee and lowering it down. And so as you go side to side here, I'm going to go sideways, right? We really want to stay nice and rooted through your sit bones and try and lift without a lot of wobbling side to side, okay? So, right, as you lift your right knee, notice if you kind of tip over to the left, right? So this is going to help us right away get a little more into those core muscles. And as this comes along, right, as you're feeling more confident in lifting your knees, you might follow your breath. Inhale up, exhale down. And you might add your arms, right? So you could add the opposite arm and the opposite leg, much like we do when we're on our backs, waking up in that dead bug. So we're going to go side to side a few times, moving with attention, right? We don't really want to wobble. The inhale lifts us up. The exhale lowers. Good. One more to each side. And then we'll lower everything down, pause, take 3 breaths, just again, coming back to being a little more anchored, grounded, center, noticing, feeling, being aware. I'm going to add a little challenge. So we're going to lift your right foot, okay? Now, you can lift your heel, you can lift your foot, right? You can lift your knee. All of us are going to pay attention right up here in your hip socket, okay? So if you have tight tingling, ooh, doesn't feel good, you want to put your foot down and just lift your heel, okay? So as long as you lift here and it feels okay, there's not a sharp pain, your quads are probably going to turn on a little bit, right? These muscles here might get a little tired. That's okay. We're going to work on pushing the leg straight, bending, and putting it back down, okay? You can go over the other side, check that hip socket, right? Push the leg away, straightening, bending, bring it down. So again, it's nice connection to core support. So as you lift your right leg, right, you might have a tendency to do this, right? So we have to be aware of being steady with movement as we go side to side. Now, nice and strong. You can feel those sit bones, right? So you can feel your sit bones really stay down and anchored. And if you want a little more challenge, try and stay a little more relaxed through the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the eyes. We'll do 2 more on each side. You can always drag your foot on the floor. Maybe you already figured that one out. You can always then, right, come back. You can rest anytime. You can add opposite arm, opposite leg. Lift, extend, come back down. I have to really think about this one, right? Going side to side on your own here. Where do you feel, right, grounded and centered? And then where do you feel mobility? Feel free to drag your foot on the ground if you need to. You're going to get lots of benefit there too. So maybe 1 or 2 more on each side. And then we'll just come back, pause, hands can rest on your thigh bones. And back to your connection to being grounded and centered. We'll take 3 breaths. So focusing on feeling the breath in your body for 3 inhales and 3 exhales. Good. Full commitment, exhale. Good. So we're going to sit back a little bit, just taking your shoulders back, okay? So here's the back of your chair. If you need to look and go, okay, there's the back of my chair. I'm going to put my chair sideways so you have a little different view here. Bottom is still, right, at the front of the chair. This is going to be the hardest, okay? You're going to come back and put your shoulder blades, right, on the back of your chair, okay? Little easier is you're going to sit back, right, and put your back, okay? So find where you want to be. And how do you know where you want to be? Well, one, I know if I come, right, really far up and I go back, I feel pretty tight through here. And I also start to really grip in my chest, right? So we need to be mindful and aware, right? So if we go back here and this is really tight, and the breathing kind of changes to a kind of feeling, well, then maybe we want a little more support, all right? So where you go is really going to be based on where you feel strong, steady, centered, and you can breathe without feeling anxious, all right? So we're gonna be here, and then like we do almost every Tuesday, that mindful part of the ribs dropping down, right? And that idea of them knitting together, okay? So it's really easy to put the arms back, right? Or pin your shoulders back and push forward like this and arc your back, okay? So we're looking for more neutral, okay? So more of that neutral spine here. You can have your hands on your thigh bones, maybe on the chair, and then like we did earlier, we're gonna pull the right knee up and like a lever, push it away. We're gonna do 5 on the right side. So like a lever, everything stays really strong and steady. We're working on connecting this leg up into our core. So how our core helps support the movements of our limbs, okay? So as you bring your right knee in, right, you don't have to come super far in, right? Can you feel a little more of this leg connecting into your lower abdominals? Maybe even that leg connecting up into the strength of the upper back. And I know I said 5 and we probably did like 10. So left side, right? Nice and strong, ribs down and in, and we're just pulling that left knee up, pushing it away. Now, I'm bringing my knee way up. Lots of hip flexion here, right? You do your thing. Maybe you're just dragging your toes on the floor. That's amazing, right? You're getting a connection of your leg into your abdominals there. Maybe you're just lifting a little bit. whatever you're doing, paying attention, feeling the strength of your body in relationship to the movement. We'll try a couple more. And then the next time your left leg comes down, gonna pause. Let's bring your hands onto your upper abdominals, lower ribs. And with an exhale, right, your ribs are gonna draw together. We're gonna pull ourselves up to sitting. All right, so we're gonna work on sitting back and coming forward, okay? So sitting back, and you can go pretty slow so you can feel the changes in your body as you go back. So some of those changes might be physical, like in my body, as I go back, I physically feel some grip here. I feel some grip here, and my mind changes a little bit. So we just want to pay attention to what is coming up for us. So I'm sitting back a little bit, so I don't grip as much in my hips. I don't grip as much or pull in my shoulders. So really finding where you want to be in relationship to the movement. All right, we'll do 3 more. And you can see as I go back, my heels have to lift up a little bit. That's okay. And then the next time we come up to sitting, we're going to pause. All right, and then we're going to take a fork in the road. All right, some of us might want to keep using the back of our chair. Okay, I want to keep using the back of my chair. Maybe you want more of a physical challenge, so you can, right, swing your legs around, right, and not have the back of your chair, right? And then we're going to sit back and pull ourselves up again. Okay, so remember your good alignment from all of the previous weeks, or if you're brand new, this is your first Tuesday. A lot of times we'll use the relationship of our ears, our shoulders, and our pelvic crest. So as you go back, lead from the pelvis back. Try not to pitch the head forward, right? So pelvis, ribs, ears. Ooh, pull yourself forward, okay? So let's do 2 or 3 more. Now, if you're using the back of your chair, you're going to go back and put your shoulder blades, right? Feel your shoulder blades on the back of your chair again. If you're not, you're going to suspend back there in space. Straighten your legs, right? Little more challenge, right? If you want it, can you keep your spine? Ooh, and all the muscles around your spine nice and strong as you take your arms up, right? Check if you want to tuck your chin and look down, right? Ribs and hips a little more in a line, so we're not pushing forward, right? Ribs and hips and shoulders and ears. And then we're going to pull the right leg in and up, and then the left leg up. We're going to go side to side about 5 times. You can always rearrange when you need to. If you're not using the back of your chair and you're starting to really get tight, say up through your collarbones and your chest and your neck, right? You can always stop, rearrange, bring your shoulders onto the chair. Okay, so when you feel it's been about 5, and then we slow it way down, and we let the arms come down, right? If you're not using the back of your chair, you can pull yourself up. And then we can all pull ourselves up and just sit in the chair. Hands can come down. Let your body pause for a moment. You can come back. What is grounding you? Do you feel centered? Maybe you're breathing a little faster. Maybe your heart rate's going a little bit quicker. What is your internal present time experience? 3 breaths. And then take a full exhale. And then we'll scoot towards the front of your chair again. Right, so coming towards the front of your chair, feet nice and anchored to the floor. Okay, And you can look down and see your toes here. It's kind of nice, right? Nice wide toes. What does it feel like just to have your toes pressing into the floor? We're gonna do a little footwork. So we're gonna press down through the toes and the balls of the feet just to lift your heels. And then you're gonna pull your heels back and down. Try to keep your toes down, okay? So toes, balls of the feet push down, heels get lighter. And then you're like gonna pull your heels back, work in the arches of your feet, the bottom of your feet, and pull the heels down, okay? So we'll do 3 more similar to that on your own. Down creates up through the heels, heels pull down to come down. Try to keep your toes down, it's really hard for me. I don't know if it's hard for anyone else, but the more I pull my heels down, the more my toes want to go wing up towards the ceiling. So I feel it a lot through my shins here. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that. And then we'll do one more because I can't talk and count at the same time. Great, and then when your heels come down, let your heels feel nice and heavy. Let the balls of your feet feel nice and heavy, thigh bones heavy. Okay, and we're gonna take a twist. So ribs first, right? We're gonna take the ribs around to the right a little bit, shoulders, then your head. Take 3 breaths here. When you feel your 3rd exhale, you'll twist back to center. Okay, really strong through your low back and your low belly, okay? We don't want a lot of movement from the navel. So again, it's a lot of core understanding. Ribs go, shoulders go, head goes. Look to the left, right? Notice, careful with your neck, no need to strain. 3 breaths. Okay, and then come back to center. Good, let's add on, bringing your hands behind your head. Ribs twist, shoulders twist, looking over to the right. Equal weight in your sit bones, back to center. Ribs, shoulders, head to the left. Great, one more time to the right. And one more time to the left. All right, so maybe you want more challenge, okay? As you twist, you could lift your right knee. Center. Left. Left knee. Center, right? Twist. If you want more challenge, lift your knee, straighten the leg. Center. Good. And then you're just going to follow your own challenge, right? Everyone has somewhere to work. Maybe you're just twisting and hanging out and twisting. You might feel really good in your upper back today, right? Maybe you're lifting your leg. Who knows? Do your thing. Let's try one more to each side. Moving from a place of being grounded and centered, aware. And then we'll come back. Let the arms come down, hands to your thigh bones. Resting again in your present time experience for 5 breaths this time. So can we pay attention? 5 inhales and 5 exhales. And then with your next exhale, try and empty the lungs, full commitment exhale. Okay, and then let's just let your arms come down by your side. So sun salutation arms, all right? So we're gonna exhale, take your arms out to come up. Inhale, pull the arms back down. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, I'm going to be really quiet. We're going to do a few more, and I'm going to be quiet so you can hear your own breathing, all right? So you can hear the breath and then move. Last one like this. And we're going to add on just like we would if you're doing a sun salutation standing up. So we'll exhale. Inhale, tip forward. Exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, fold. Exhale, come all the way up. Inhale. With your breath, exhale. Inhale, pelvic flexion, tip. Exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, fold. Exhale, come all the way up. Inhale. So a few more, right? Listening to your own breath, feeling your own breath. So if you're starting to move and you kind of get lost, don't worry about it, all right? It's just following your breath, right? It's your own path. So you're gonna hear your breath and then make a movement, and you can let go of doing it wrong because you can't do it wrong, all right? So we're gonna start together and then really, really follow your breath. Don't follow mine. It'll just be more personable, right? And more meaningful if you follow your own breathing, okay? So we'll start together and then it'll become like a movement meditation, okay? So we'll exhale together and take your arms out and up. Inhale. Exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, fold. Exhale, come up. And then from now on, just going out on your own. Wherever you are, do one more. And we'll all meet back after this one in seated. And then when you get to seated, 5 breaths, coming back, feeling your connection to being grounded and centered. From that place of being centered and grounded, noting your internal experience with your breathing through your body. Great. Full exhale. And let's do a little upper back work, okay? So I'm gonna sit just on the corner of my chair. You might find that a little helpful because you can take your feet out a little wider if you want, okay? So we're gonna start just by bringing your hands up on the top of your thigh bones, right? And want a nice, strong, right, posture, okay? So we're not rounding forward, right? So we're grounding. The chest is lifting up more so than pushing forward, right? So we have that lifted posture, and you might feel that a little more through your mid-back too, right? So your mid-back area can lift, your sternum, chest can lift, and you can feel really nice and strong through those upper abdominals, middle abdominals, lower abdominals, okay? So it might feel a little bit, if you could do tabletop or plank, your upper body, your shoulder blades on your back, a little bit like you were doing plank, okay? But you're not bearing weight. And then from here, we're just gonna slide your hands towards your knees and tip forward. And then we're gonna slide back, right? So as we go out, try to keep your spine the same shape, head, right, in line with your shoulders. Again, another example, lead from your pelvis. Pelvis tips, ribs follow, shoulders follow, ears follow. One more. And then when you tip this time, your hands are going to come out to the top of your knees. Okay? We want your elbows to be back at like a diagonal. So not winging way out like this. Okay? So this is the front version. We're not here and we're not here. It's more at a diagonal. Okay? And then it's like a push-up. We're going to push the legs into the floor to come up really strong. Right? And so it's like a little knee chair push-up. Really strong through your hands, pushing your body back up. Okay? So let's try for maybe 5 to 10 of these. Shoulder blades moving on your back, right? So you can maybe connect to the shoulder blade movement. Spine stays neutral. Shoulder blades can move. Strength. Maybe you visualize doing a push-up. If you're not totally confined in the chair and you really want to stand up and do a push-up, you could do one on, your chair, right? You could stand up, right? As long as your chair is on a really strong surface. Right? You could work here for a little bit. You could straighten your legs, okay? So meeting yourself where you are. If you're here, make sure you're pushing down and you're on a really strong surface and your chair is not sliding around, all right? So if you're burned out and you're tired, that's when you rest, and we're all gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more, or you're resting and we're gonna sit back. You can kick your legs out in front of you and just let everything rest for a moment. And take a few breaths. So really good job, upper backs. Push-ups are really hard. And so starting them right in a chair can be just as challenging as starting them on the floor for some of us. So give yourself a big hug on that one, okay? So we're gonna come back to the corner of your chair and we're gonna tip back over like this. We're gonna tuck your chin a little bit, right? And just see if you can feel a little bit of that muscle memory of your push-up, okay? And we're gonna let your arms dangle, okay? And then we're gonna go out like a fly and bring your arms back in, and then we're gonna go out like a Y, working in the shoulder. Now, you're gonna listen, your shoulder's gonna talk to you. So we go out like a T, and then like a Y, and then like an I. And you want to keep, right, really strong through that core. Okay, so we'll try one more. T, Y, and I. Good, and then we'll sit up. All right, so coming back to the front of your chair, you're gonna find, right, where we're centered, where we're grounded. And this time, right, we have to find nice strength through here when we take the arms back in extension. So you can come back and grab the back sides of your chair. If this is too much, you can grab down here, okay? What we're all gonna really need to be aware of, right, is that we stay nice and anchored through your sit bones, through your thigh bones, and through your feet, okay? So when you grab, have a little bend in your elbow, okay? You might think about your shoulder blades, right? Shoulder blades on your back. We are not pushing the chest forward, so we're not arcing forward, okay? Really strong through the ribs, dropping down and in, okay? So we still want to think about some of that core strong alignment, and you're going to push your palms into the chair Stay grounded through your seat and see if you can just feel a little bit of lifting up through your upper back. And take a couple breaths. And then we're going to swing your arms forward and up. And then swing your arms back behind you. Just like that. 2 more times. And then after your arms come back, we're just gonna let them dangle to the side and come back to letting your physical body pause, and then back to your present time, internal breath, body experience. Let's take 3 breaths. Full commitment exhale. Great, and then we can lean forward in our chair again, right? So we're gonna have some pelvic flexion, elbows can come down, you can join your palms together, right? And then from here, cat-cow. So just however you wanna do your cat-cow today, hopefully you'll choose to do it mindfully, slowly, connected. And just working through your vertebrae. Maybe you go head, upper back, middle back, lower back, or maybe you want to try something different and feel a little more from your lower back up through your mid back, through your upper back and your head. Just noticing what you're experiencing and feeling as you move through 2 more cat-cows. And then after those 2 cat-cows, you'll find some stillness and pause again. And then we'll all come on up to sitting. Right? We can turn back forward if you were on the corner of your chair. All right, let's just stretch out the side of your hips a little bit. So your right leg will become your front leg, and it's just going to cross over your left shin. Now you're still going to want to keep both sit bones down, and we're just going to pull that heel up and down. Okay. I want to do that from our own strength in the hips. So we're not using the hands to do this one. And maybe, right, you pull up and you come here and that's okay. It feels A-okay, fine. And maybe you come up here and you're like, no. So you're going to just put your foot down here, right? It's all good, right? So here or here. And we're just going to take a little pelvic flexion, tipping forward a little bit. Bring your attention into, right, this right hip and take 3 breaths. And then a full exhale, let all the air out and sit back up. And then guess what? You know, you're probably already doing it. Left leg comes over the right. And you go up and down a few times. Okay, maybe you stay here. Maybe you're coming up here. Let's try and make this foot a little more active so it pulls back just a little bit like if you were standing. And then we tip forward a little bit. And then 3, 4, 5 breaths. You might feel that breath a little more in your left hip. You might feel that breath a little more in your low back. Let's take one more deep full inhale and let all the air out with your exhale. And then coming on up to sleep. Yeah. So we're going to let your arms hang and we're just going to take a couple side bends. We're going to keep the arms down today. So you can imagine you have something heavy like some weight. We're moving a little more from the ribs. So letting your neck follow your arm as opposed to the neck just kind of, right, dropping. Just go side to side, feeling it out with your breath. We'll do one more to each side. And then when you're finished, we'll just come back and find a really comfortable place in your chair to relax, okay? So you can, right, maybe your comfortable place is a little more forward. You could stay here. Maybe you're kind of sitting back a little bit, finding more like you would find a Shavasana. So we're gonna take the last few minutes here to rest. And resting is a little easier, right? If the physical body can pause and find stillness in a supportive place. So you're going to put your body in that supportive place. You can have your eyes open or closed. And just like if we were on the floor, let gravity help release some tension out of you, okay? So we spend a lot of our days upright, working against gravity. And right now, you might even feel like you were in a hammock, right? Like when you let go in a hammock, how the hammock supports all the different curves of your body. Just letting the chair, or if you're on the floor, letting the chair floor really support all the different angles and curves of your bones and your tissues. It's like you get to put your physical body on a little pause and come inward to your internal breath experience. And so noticing wherever it is that you feel you're breathing. There's no right or wrong place to feel your breath. Wherever you feel you're breathing, practice staying right there with kindness and some compassion, breathing into that space. Just really nurturing that space. Almost like your breath could give that space a really deep, warm hug. And as you take maybe 2 or 3 more exhales, just feeling what it's like to just exhale. You don't have to do anything else but just receive your exhale. And with your next exhale, that full commitment exhale again, letting go. Not letting go makes room for a nice, full, energized inhale. And then with your next 3 breaths, practicing that, letting all the air out so you make room for 3 really strong, energized inhales. And you might start to notice the relationship of your inhale and your exhale. And just guiding your awareness back to your body if it left, right? Maybe you drifted away, started daydreaming, just coming back to your experience. Let's just add your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe outstretching your legs. You might take your arms out and up. And then we'll just all really slowly make our way move from leaning back or from that shape to coming all the way on up to sitting. Thank you all so much for coming to class today. It's really appreciated. Thanks for taking care of yourselves. Sending you all big high fives. If you want to stick around for the chat, I'll open the chat up if you have any questions or comments. They're always really helpful. So it's really nice to get feedback. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're all superstars. It's really awesome that you all come. Thank you, thank you. All right, I don't see a whole lot of questions. Oh, well, maybe this is one. Yeah, shoulder impingements. So someone typed in, I have an impingement in one of my shoulders, so I often have to adapt the exercises slightly for that. Yes, for sure. Just keep adapting as you need and doing what feels really healthy and what feels strong in your body for sure. Yes, good. Oh, good. Yeah. Thank you. This refreshes my day. I like the challenges of the chair. Yeah, the chair can be really interesting. It's really different than standing up on our feet all the time. So we'll be doing a chair class the first Tuesday of every month. Good, good. Good. This fits me with a walker. That's wonderful. I'm really happy to hear that. I hope it worked and you feel stronger. Oh, I injured my hip shoveling last weekend. Oh, sorry. But yeah, moving in the chair, right? Like if you have some, lower body aches and pains or even low back aches and pains, getting in the chair can be really helpful because the chair can support our pelvises and our legs, right? And then we can really concentrate and feel, kind of stretch out and get stronger or notice the upper body a little more. So yeah, thanks for bringing that to my awareness. Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like that's about it. So thanks, everyone. Here comes another one. Yeah, you can watch it again. Misty from Monona Terrace is really wonderful, and she'll put it up on the Monona Terrace website. So if you go to mononaterrace.com, I think is the website, and then you'll scroll down to community events or community classes, and then you'll find mindful movement. All of the mindful movement classes are there, and all of the Wednesday meditation classes are there. So it's an amazing library of meditation and movement. And I know if you have any trouble finding it, Misty's really great at helping. We couldn't do this without her.
Oops, okay. Yeah, so you can also just Google mindful movement and Monona Terrace, and that will also pop it up.
Sorry, I closed my window. Yeah, so weak quads and knees. Yeah. So thanks for the chair options. Yes, yes, yes. I really hope that then when we go forward in the next, few weeks, you can always bring a chair to class and be creative with the chair. So maybe what we did today will help you or give you some ideas in the upcoming week. So if you come next week and we're not using the chair, you can still have a chair and remember, or, you know, practice some of the things we did today from using the video, and then do those in class, you know, on Tuesdays. So it's pretty easy to adapt, right? What we're doing from standing into a chair, especially for certain poses. Maybe you felt some of that today. So definitely saying like a chair doesn't make us weaker. It's just more creative, and it brings challenges in different ways.
Okay, I think that
Awesome.
ends it for the Q&A today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you join us next week on Tuesday at noon. And with that, I hope everyone is well and stays safe. See you next week.
Bye, thank you.